everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into Carol's Daily Sauce. You know what? I am just going to deem Mondays as my days to crack them out. You guys won't get all my videos on Mondays, but it's the day that I pretty much don't do homework. But y'all know what? Let me tell y'all a little secret. What I had done these last couple of weeks is I had been really lazy in my homework. Normally what I do is I take one day out of the week and I won't do any homework. But because I am studying distant learning, which means I'm doing online studying, I am required to do 72 hours of homework, which means literally, because of the units that I have, actually, you know what, it wouldn't be 72 because I'm only taking 2 classes. So it would be 48 hours of homework a week because each unit counts for, I believe they said 12 hours. That's still 72. Okay. Anyway, Mondays are going to be my day that I'm lying, because after I finish doing these videos, I'm going to do some homework, because let me tell you what I did last week. Last week I did homework. However, when I did the homework, I normally do my criminal justice first, but last week I did criminal justice as well as my counseling class, and I usually save my counseling class for last because it's not as hard as my criminal justice. I'm actually studying right now the aspect of legal evidence. And let me tell you guys something. I have studied taken a lot of criminal justice classes. Probably now since January of 2008, probably at least 6. This is probably my 6th criminal justice class. This is the hardest. This is the hardest aspects of evidence. Very hard. It could be the professor, although he's very cool. He grades me proper, okay? But I'm a writer, and a lot of times they like the fact that I actually write. I need to really leave this alone. Y'all see this thing moving? Okay, so anyway, with that being said, as far as my homework, I ended up last week not being as focused as I was. I took Monday and Tuesday off, so I had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Saturday, all of the assignments are due by 11:59 p.m. I usually have every single week 4 to 6 assignments per class due at the end of the week. I did all of my criminal justice and had it turned in by Saturday at 11:59. However, I had not looked at any of my counseling. So what ended up happening is all day Sunday I had to do counseling. I'm not doing that again. I don't like to be rushed. So I'm not doing that again. But let's go ahead and talk about this star. Y'all know her. Kenya Moore from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm the first to tell you that I am not a entertainment news person. I'm not. I mean, I've done a few. I've done some on Michael Jackson. I've done some on Brian McKnight. I've done a few. But the reason I was moved to do something with Kenya Moore is because, quite honestly, I have always thought that she was straight up weird. When I used to watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta, I just thought that she was extra. It just seemed like to me when I was watching it, and this was probably in 2000, have the attitude in which she thought that she was better than everybody else. That's just how I felt. So everything she did was just better than everybody else. I mean, but she couldn't keep a man. And I was like, okay, now this is a woman, I believe she was Miss USA, and beautiful. Hair way down to here. Not that your hair makes you, but beautiful hair. The reason I point that out is because one of the references that she always makes is, ain't no weave in here. This is all me, you know. She always says that. Full of arrogance. And so in 2016, 2017, she was dating a gentleman. I don't really know. Notice I said she was dating a gentleman. I don't even really know his name. I know that he was from Atlanta, Georgia, and he was a tow truck driver. Y'all remember that if you watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta. So we would see them on the show, okay? But he always seemed to act standoffish. He always seemed to act surprised about anything that she had planned for them. I remember one time they went fishing and he was more in tune with the fishing than he was with her. And I've never been fishing, so maybe that's something that happens when you go fishing. Maybe when you go fishing, I mean, you are just in tune with the fishing. I don't know, because I've never went. But he just basically, he act like she wasn't even there. He literally act like he was the only one on the fishing trip. I can't remember his name. But I just, like I said, I've always thought Kenya Moore was special. So here recently, when I found out, actually, you know what, that could not have been 2016, 2017 when I watched her. That had to be in 2014, 2015 when I watched The Real Housewives. To be frankly honest with you, I have been delivered from watching reality TV. There was a time in my life when all I did was watch reality TV. Seriously, from the time I woke up in the morning until the time I went to bed at night, that was what I did. Okay? Wouldn't do nothing. I mean, you know, my house would be clean. I could dinner with that reality TV on though. Okay? So, when I found out this year that Kenya Moore was getting married, I think what happened is I found out she had a baby. And I was like, a baby? You know, because I knew in the past that she had spoke of wanting a child, and I knew she had had some problems in some relationships that she had with conceiving a child. But when I found out that she was married and had a baby, I was stunned. I was like, really? Kenya Moore, Gone with the Wind Fabulous? See, all that kind of stuff. I remember that Gone with the Wind Fabulous. That's when I used to watch it. And I believe, yeah, like I said, I believe that was in 2014, 2015. She got into a disagreement with one of the ladies on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And she was like, what? I'm Gone with the Wind Fabulous. And turned around like she was straight up Scarlett O'Hara. Seriously. The only thing that I remember about her, like I said, is Gone with the Wind Fabulous, and that she's extremely arrogant. But she had had relationships on the show in the past, from what I can remember, but they never seemed to last. And I was like, you know what? This is crazy. This is a very attractive woman. That's why I don't care what anybody tells you, okay? I don't care what anybody tells you. Looks do not matter. People can be absolutely positively beautiful and cannot keep a relationship, okay? Kenya Moore was one of those women. So when I found out that she was married and everything and had a child, I was like, what? You know, I started looking at her on Instagram. Her daughter is beautiful. Her name is Brooklyn. She's really, really beautiful. And so her getting married, this was a surprise for everyone. Basically, nobody knew the women on the show didn't even know she was dating. So if they didn't. We wouldn't know unless paparazzi goes and finds out some information about people and blasts it on the TV or on the TV, internet, or in the gossip magazines. But nobody was even aware of this. Everybody thought it was really, really strange when they found out she was getting married. And we questioned. I know I questioned, and I know a whole bunch of people questioned, was she getting married in her head? Is this in Kenya's head again? I mean, because what I've always seen is that Kenya Moore has always had relationships, but the men that she had relationships with didn't even know that they were in a relationship with her. Y'all know how that can be, how you can be seeing someone and you think you're in a relationship, but they're not. And you can tell that they're not based on how they react to you, how they react around other persons and stuff like that. Now, you know, it just seems that I always have to bring this reaction stuff, but I basically talk about me and I talk about my situations. People tend to think that I think that I am above things, and I don't. Them dogs hit somebody because they're getting off that back porch about to go attack. I don't think that I'm above anything. It's just that I just speak my mind. So I'm quite sure I don't know, maybe not everybody has been in a situation where they thought that they were in a relationship, but they really, really weren't. Because sometimes, most of the time, men speak a different language than women. They just do. I mean, when you get my age, you start to realize men and women speak two different languages. Where women equate everything with affection and love, men equate things with sex and visuality, sex and seeing. With that being said, after 2 years of dating, Kenya Moore and her husband, Marc Daly, ended up getting married. So Kenya and her husband, Marc, were on the Taryn Hall show. And if you guys haven't looked at the Taryn Hall show, check her out. Taryn Hall is so cute to me. They were on the Taryn Hall show. And what they were doing is they were discussing the problems that they were having with IVF. They were having problems with conceiving. As I said earlier, she has had previous problems in relationships with conceiving a child. The Taryn Hall show, discussing their journey of trying to conceive their daughter, Brooklyn. Their process was successful. She got pregnant with Brooklyn. 2 days after they were on the Taryn Hall show, they announced on the internet and to People magazine that they were getting a divorce. Now, did y'all just make a conscious decision that you were going to go ahead and do this interview? And then say you were going to announce your divorce after you did the interview? Or I just don't understand. I guess that's probably what happened, because it wouldn't look good for you to go on the Taryn Hall show as a couple and be talking about the problems that you were having with IVF and say, but we're divorcing. You know, that doesn't go together. So anyway, 2 days later, they announced that they're divorcing. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not surprised about Kenya Moore getting a divorce, because as I said, she is one of the, you know, as much as I hate to say this, everybody is not meant to be married, okay? Everybody is not meant to be married. Now, the Bible does say that it is better to marry than it is to burn, okay? It does. And that speaks, in the reference of burning, speaks of fornication, basically having sex outside of marriage, okay? So it is good. It was good for her to get married. It was good for her to get married and have a child, you know, in the relationship. However, this poor woman cannot keep a man. So to be frankly honest, she is not gone with the wind fabulous, as she loves to say. Anyway, her soon-to-be ex-husband, Marc Daly, and her both have made a announcement on the internet that they will be co-parenting their daughter, Brooklyn, and doing all that they can to ensure that she has a great life, because she is referred to so affectionately as their miracle baby. I just want to say this. Blessings to you, Kenya, because it just don't seem like you can keep a man. I just think, as I said before, that some people aren't cut out for marriage. Y'all put in the comments what you think. It just seems like she just, I mean, either that, or either some people aren't cut out for marriage, or she just haven't found the one that really wants to be married with her. But I mean, she's 4 years old. She's getting a little old. Y'all go ahead and put some comments in. Thank you so much for tuning into Carol's Daily Sauce. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to be reminded of all the videos that I upload. You guys, I am holding back a sneeze, so I got to go. Bye-bye.